Hi guys and gals, this is Jenny Boyer, your instructor, and I wanted to post a new video for this week to walk you through some of the new things you'll be completing. So if you go under content assignments, you will see that I've added a couple things in red that I want you to be aware of, and then you should also see that the week 2 folder has appeared. You will also see these new buttons beneath weeks 1 and 2, and that's related to the attendance message up here that I'm going to discuss. So I just want to point out in terms of weekly assignments, with the exception of the introductory quiz, which you all should have completed, everyone should get in the flow of completing your projects within the week from Wednesday to Wednesday and having everything submitted and completed by 11:59 p.m. the following Wednesday that each of these folders opens up, okay? This is an 8-week class, and what that means is essentially that we're cramming the contents of a 16-week semester into half the time. It's like taking a summer class. So you guys have a lot of work to do within a week. It's the amount of work that would normally be presented over the space of an entire semester. So I'm going to say it again and again and again. Make sure that you stay on top of your work and that you complete things within the week so that you don't get behind, because you will have very little opportunity to make those points up just because we are pressed within such a tight time frame. Okay, so that has to do with due dates. In terms of attendance, this is an online class, okay, so technically I never see you virtually. Your attendance is assessed by your ability to complete assignments in Blackboard, which are assigned to you every week. But what I also want you to do is each week I want you to come down here and I want you to click this link for Mark Reviewed. And when you do that, it's going to change that link to display reviewed with a little checkbox beside it. And that's my visual identifier that you have logged into Blackboard, that you have clicked on the week 1 folder, and that you have reviewed the contents of that folder, and that you know what you're responsible for the week ahead. Okay. Let me point out, though, that attendance, as I say right here, attendance has no bearing on your grade in the course, meaning that you still have to complete assignments in order to pass. If you miss out on classes, if you look at the syllabus, you'll see that that can negatively affect your grade, but just don't think that by logging in and clicking this link that you've completed your requirements, that you're present, and that you'll pass the class. That's not the case at all. So you guys should have completed everything that was contained within the week 1 folder. That included the digital literacy training in SAM. It included the discussion board on digital literacy. It included a training on Office 2013 and Windows in SAM. And it also included the little activity where you were asked to create folders in order to store all of your projects for the semester. So all of that was contained here. In addition to the intro quiz, all of that should have been completed by yesterday at midnight. So everything that is in this week 2 folder is what will be due by next Wednesday at midnight, okay? By this time, you should have already installed the Office 2013 trial on your computer. You should have also set up your account in SAM, and if you had problems with either of those, you should have contacted me immediately, okay? So make sure you do that right now, because you're going to need it this week. So once you've read through these new additions here and you understand them, if you don't, please contact me for clarification. But go ahead and click into the week 2 folder, and you're going to see some information here about portfolios. So what are portfolios? Well, really, it's nothing more than a fancy term that refers to a collection of trainings, projects, and exams that you're going to complete in SAM that are going to build and test your understanding of the concepts, specifically related to the Office applications. You'll be learning 4 this semester. You'll be doing Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Access. Okay? So the breakdown is that for Word, we'll complete 3 chapters, and for each of those chapters, you'll have 2 projects to complete and a training. Same thing for PowerPoint. For Excel and Access, we'll only have 2 chapters, but for those you will still have 2 projects and 1 training to complete for each. The training is meant to reinforce your understanding of the concepts you're reading in the book, and also to prepare you to complete the project. So I would encourage you to complete the trainings first. Second, you're going to complete the projects, and that's going to test essentially your understanding of how to use the tool to create a deliverable. So in Word, you're going to be creating flyers, you're going to be creating a research paper, and a letterhead. So note that you will not receive a grade on a weekly basis. You're going to get an overall portfolio grade for Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Access. The projects will be due on a weekly basis to try to keep you on par and caught up so you don't get behind. But I will not assign a grade for those until we have reached the end of each of the portfolios. And that means when we have covered all of the chapters that I've indicated. Note that the trainings are open-ended. They don't receive a grade. Now that's only for the Office applications, and again, that's Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Access. For the concepts, and those are things like digital literacy, the internet, hardware and software, those trainings you will get a grade for those. But note that for the Office applications, you don't get a grade. They're just there to prepare you for the exam. The exam is deployed at the end of the portfolio, and they're going to consist of 25 tasks that are pulled directly from the training. So if you've completed the trainings, you will know how to pass the exam, because I'm just going to cherry pick 25 of those tasks from the individual chapters and then give it to you in an exam. To pass the exam, you must score an 80% or better. You get 3 chances to get each question correct and 2 attempts to pass the exam. Okay, so there's really no excuse for not learning from your mistakes and improving and passing the SAM exam. For the projects, you must score 90% or better to get credit for them, but you have 3 chances to fix mistakes and to resubmit them for your grade, and I'll go over that here in just a second. Same thing here. Once you score 80% or better, you get the points for the exam by default. If you score anything less than 80%, you get nothing. It's very cut and dry. There's a grading specifics document linked here that you can open. It's also under syllabus course information, and if you look at that, it's going to go over all of the points that are awarded for all of this portfolio work. Okay? So after you have reviewed that, you can go ahead and move on to these 2 folders, which is what's required of you for this week. We're going to look at the internet, which is covered in a chapter of your book found on pages 54 to 91. And we're going to start Microsoft Word Chapter 1. So again, you're going to have a chapter to review. I say review because I don't expect you to read the entire chapter. You're just going to review it to help reinforce your understanding of the trainings and to help you to complete the projects. So if you want to start with the internet folder, this is going to be very similar to the digital literacy folder from last week. You're going to complete a training in SAM. If you click this link, it's going to launch SAM for you, and you can log in. And if you go to your assignments, actually yours is going to look different than mine. Let me get into my student view. If you go to your activity list and you pull up our section, which actually yours should be set by default. I have a whole bunch of them only because I'm teaching a lot of classes. But you'll see now that the internet training has been deployed. The Word Chapter 1 training is there, in addition to the projects you're going to complete. So these 4 things will be due by next Wednesday at midnight. Okay? So complete your training on the internet. Again, you're going to walk through and observe, practice, and apply those tasks. You're also going to complete another discussion board post, and again, you're just going to click the link to get into the discussion board, reply to my thread, and give me a post that's a minimum of 250 words, okay? There's not really a right or wrong with those. They're more opinion-based for the most part, based on your understanding of the text, but you do need to meet that minimum of 250 words to get credit, and your post has to be relevant, okay? Give me thoughtful comments, not just mindless ranting, which I get sometimes when people are just not enthusiastic or encouraged about doing a discussion board post, okay? When you've completed the content within the internet folder, you need to go back to the week 2 folder, click on Microsoft Word Chapter 1. Okay, so I want to spend a little bit of time here because I want to go over how to submit your projects in SAM. You're going to have, again, a SAM training. You know how to complete that. That's listed here. For the SAM project, you're going to go into SAM again. This link will open up SAM for you. And to get started, so if you wanted to start with Project 1, you're going to click this link. And it's going to tell you you need to make a 90. You have 3 chances to make a 90. And I actually have already submitted once, so I have 2 submissions remaining. Okay? So I'm going to click Start. And what you get is this. So the first thing you need to do is download the instructions. And what the instructions are, once you open up the document, is basically a step-by-step for what you need to do to get started and then to complete the project. Now these are not complex projects. They should not take you a very long time. So you're just going to walk through the 15 steps, and when you're finished you should have a product that looks like this. Okay? I will point out please pay attention to the naming convention for the file. Okay? When you open the file and download it, you need to save it within the folders that you created last week. This first and last name is going to be replaced by your actual first and last name. So in my instance, my name is Jenny Boyer. So you will see, I would see Jenny Boyer here, and then I need to change the _1 to _2. If you don't save it with that _2, when you log back in to submit it here, you see that's what it's asking for. It wants to see that very particular file name. It's going to tell you it's not going to accept the file. So make sure that your file name is this, and then you can upload it for grading. Okay, so those are the instructions. You're also going to need the files listed here under step 2. So you're going to also open up this document, and you're going to save it somewhere. Go ahead and save all of these documents actually to the folder you created. I'm going to put them on my desktop so I can find them easily. And again, pay careful attention to the naming of the files. Save, replace. And then I'm going to open up this file. Enable editing. Go ahead and save it. Again, save it in the folder you created. Save as. You need to navigate to the location where you want to save it so that you can find it. Note here, see it's already put in your name here. You need to take out everything after that underscore and put in a 2. Okay? And then click Save. Replace existing file. You won't have to do that. I just have to do that because I already had them on my desktop. Then you're also going to have to download and save this guitar picture. Okay? So click that link. And you'll see this little picture here. If you right click it, you can save it. Excuse me. If you click it, I'm actually, what browser? I'm using Chrome here. It depends on the browser that you're using. But you need to save this image to a place where you can find it. In this case, all of my downloads go to a temporary folder, so I need to right click this and tell it to show me the file in the folder, and then I'm just going to move this to the desktop so I can find it. You won't necessarily have to do that. It all depends on the browser that you're using and where you've set up your browser to save your files, but you need to make sure that you have this file saved somewhere that you can grab it. I actually have 2 of them. Okay, so once you have downloaded the instructions, downloaded the files that you need, then you're going to close this out and you're going to start working on your project. Okay, so what I would suggest you do is open up your project description and then open up your project here, your flyer. If you're using Windows 7 or Windows 8, you can do what I call pop and lock with the windows. you can grab the top of the window here and you can drag it all the way to the edge of your monitor, and when your mouse hits the edge of the monitor, it's automatically going to resize it to half the screen, which is really handy because then you can view your work as you're working through it. Okay, and then you need to come down and you're going to start working on project steps. So for project one, for project steps number 1, it says, I'm going to minimize it so I can see the whole thing. It says change the theme colors of the document to violet 2. Okay, so if you've read through your text, if you've completed your training, you should know that on the Design tab, you have various themes available and you also have theme colors available. If you click your theme colors, you're able to change those, and what it's asking you to do is change the theme color to violet 2. So you're just going to look for that here in the list. Violet 2. And when you do that, it's going to automatically change the color palette that's set for the theme that you're using. Okay? And then you can move on to step 2. It says resize the picture of the guitar at the beginning of the document so that it is 1.7 inches tall. So if you select this picture, you see that you're going to get a new Format tab here at the top. If you click your Format tab, you're going to change the size, and you can see that it asks you to change the height from 149 to 1.7. So you could just delete that 49, enter your 7, and hit enter. It's going to automatically resize your picture for you. Okay? And then step 3. So you're going to move through each of the steps to complete the project. Again, there are only 15, so it should not take you too long. When you reach step 15, you're going to save your document again. So if you've saved it in the location of your choice, all you have to do is go up and hit this little disk option, this little diskette button. It's going to save your work. And then when you're finished, you can close it out. And I'm going to close out my instructions document too. I've purposefully left most of the requirements incomplete because I want to show you how you can look at the report to see what you did right and what you did wrong so that you can improve that if you don't make a 90% or better to submit it again. So you're going to go back into SAM once you've completed the project. You're going to click Start, and now once you've worked through the instructions to complete the project and you've used the files given to you, you're going to come back in and submit it for grading. So you're going to say Choose Files, and you're going to browse to that project. Mine's on my desktop. And again, make sure that the file name matches this or it's not going to accept it. And then hit Submit. And you should see this happen. If you see this happen, you know that you were successful. It says go to the reports page to view your results. So close this. Up here at the top, you can click Reports. And you're going to see, you see here that I have 2 submissions of Project 1. So make sure you're looking at the correct one. The one I want to view is the one I just submitted. So today's the 23rd at 10:43. So I'm going to look at that report. You can open it up by downloading it. Enable editing. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. Okay, so you'll see that my score right now is 12 out of 100. So I did not make 90% or better, meaning that I'm not going to get credit for this. And if you look through here, you'll see that it's going to tell you what you did right. So I completed those first 2 steps, and when I did that, it automatically gave me the points for it, and it marked it right. Now everything else we did not complete, so by default it's telling me that those are wrong because they were not completed in the project. If you walk through all of the steps of the project, you should receive a 90% or better. In the event that you did not do something correctly or that you failed to do something, it will give you this red X, and it will tell you the points that you missed out on, and it will tell you how you can fix that, okay? So by doing that, you can go back, correct your mistakes, log back into SAM, submit it again to get that 90% or better. And again, you have 3 attempts to do that. At the very bottom, you'll see your project here, and you see comments in place. If you want to view comments, if you go to the Review tab, if it's set to Simple Markup, all you're going to see are these little comment bubbles. If you click them, you're going to see the content as it is. But it's easier, in my opinion, to look at the Review tab and change this to All Markup. And then you're going to see, take that down a little bit. All of the comments in place for everything here. So it says step 3, the rotated white picture style should be applied to the picture of the guitar. So this is something that I did not do, that I missed out on up here at the top. So the comment is going to point to the object within the project that needs work, and it's going to tell me what it is that I need to do to fix that. Okay? If there's more than one thing that I left off, then you may have 2 comments, as you see here, assigned. So I also forgot to add the blue 11-point glow around the picture. So again, go back, fix these problems, resubmit it to get 90% or better, and you're ready to rock. Okay, so that is submission of projects in SAM. Clear these out. All right. That is everything for this week. I will try to post a lecture video for you guys that will go over the contents of the Chapter 1. For the concepts chapters, I feel like there's less, the text really sort of does those justice. In a hybrid course, we would talk about those things a little more in depth, have a little bit of conversation about it, but in an online class, the text really does, if you're reading the text, it does you well to sort of go over all of the concepts within those chapters. But for the office applications, I will try to post little mini lectures that will go over the basics of how to access all of the functionality on the ribbon so that you're equipped with the knowledge of where to find those things to complete your project. All right, guys, so get started on everything. If you have any questions, contact me, and I will have more content posted soon. Have a great day.